Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button before we begin. Tonight's story is one of the most disturbing submissions I've ever received. The couple who sent this in asked me to change their names, their city, even the year it happened. They say the thing in the photographs might still be looking for them, and they don't want it finding where they are now. So if you're watching this in the dark, don't, because once you see him, you can't unsee him. Let's begin. Matt and Lily had been together for 3 years when they stumbled across the flea market on Redwood Street. It was the kind of place filled with rusted license plates, lopsided furniture, and old cassette players that didn't work anymore. They weren't planning to buy anything. They'd just been driving, wandering around on a Sunday afternoon, trying to kill time before dinner. That's when Lily noticed the Polaroid camera. It sat alone on a folding table covered in yellowing paperbacks. The camera was scratched, the white plastic faded into a dirty beige. But something about it felt charming, retro, nostalgic. The seller, a thin, older woman wearing a heavy coat despite the heat, smiled the moment she saw Lily pick it up. "Still works," the woman said. Her voice was hoarse. "Film inside too. How old is it?" Lily asked. The woman shrugged. "Older than me." She laughed, but there was no humor in it. Matt felt a chill, like a breeze had cut straight through the crowded market. He wanted to set the camera back down, but Lily looked so excited. She'd always loved old things, antiques, anything with history. "It's $20, the woman added. "But once you take it home, don't bring it back." Matt frowned. "Why would we bring it back?" The woman's smile wavered. "Sometimes people get pictures they don't expect." Lily giggled, assuming it was part of the sales pitch. Matt didn't. Something about the woman's eyes didn't look like someone joking, but Lily had already pulled out a 20. The woman handed over the camera and whispered, "Good luck," like they'd just bought something cursed. On their way back to the car, Lily kept snapping photos of Matt, him holding a hot dog, him pretending to pose like a model, him squinting in the sunlight. The camera clicked, the picture slid out, and the couple waited for the tint to fade into an image. It was adorable, silly, fun. "Let's take our first photo together," Lily said. "Our flea market memory." They stretched out their arms, squeezed close, and snapped the picture. The Polaroid slid out with a soft hiss. They shook it, laughing, watching the image appear. Their faces came in first, then their clothes. Then the blurry marketplace behind them. Then Matt froze. What the hell is that? In the far background of the photo, behind the crowd, behind the tables, behind everyone stood an old man. His clothes didn't match the weather. He wore what looked like an old-fashioned black coat, buttoned high around his throat. His face was pale, almost gray, and he wasn't looking at the camera like everyone else caught in the shot. He was looking directly at them, more specifically, directly at Lily. "Was he standing near us?" she asked, scanning the flea market behind them. "No," Matt said. "I didn't see anyone like that. He's probably just someone walking by." "Look at his shoes," Matt whispered. They both leaned closer. The old man's shoes were covered in mud, thick, fresh mud, dripping onto the pavement in the photo. But the flea market ground had been clean, dusty asphalt. No mud anywhere. Matt felt something cold grip the pit of his stomach. "Let's take another one." They snapped another picture, this time of Matt alone. The image appeared slowly, colors bleeding into shape. The old man wasn't there. Relieved, they got into the car and drove home. But later that night, when they decided to test the camera again in their living room, the first thing Lily said when she looked at the new photo was, "Matt, he's back." There he was, the old man. Again in the background behind their couch, near the hallway, half hidden by the shadows. Same clothes, same pale skin, same blank expression. Matt dropped the photo. How is he in our house?" "He wasn't," Lily insisted. Matt, I swear, I didn't see anyone. They were both trembling now. Matt picked up the Polaroid again. One more, he whispered. We need to know if this thing is broken. Lily's voice shook. I don't think it's broken. She sounded afraid, more afraid than he'd ever heard her. Still, they raised the camera, leaned in together, and snapped one more picture. The photo slid out. They waited. 5 seconds. 10:30. The picture formed, and both of them stopped breathing. This time, the old man wasn't standing far away. He was standing right behind them. So close his face blurred into their hair. So close his breath should have been on their necks. So close that if he were real, they would have felt him, but they didn't. And that made it worse. Matt slowly turned around. No one was there. Yet the man in the Polaroid was smiling. A smile that felt like a warning. A smile that meant he wasn't done with them yet. Matt didn't sleep that night. He lay in bed staring at the Polaroid camera sitting on their dresser like it was something alive. Lily kept turning from side to side, mumbling that they should get rid of it, maybe even break it. Matt wanted to agree, but something about the old man's face bothered him so deeply that he needed answers before he let it go. Around 3:14 a.m., just when the room had finally grown quiet, a sharp snap echoed from the dresser. Matt sat straight up. Did you hear that? He whispered. Lily jolted awake. What was it? Matt slid out of bed and approached the dresser cautiously. The room was dark, but the faint glow from the street lamp outside lit the edges of the camera. He leaned closer, and his stomach dropped. A fresh Polaroid picture was sticking out of the camera. Matt, Lily whispered from behind him. Did you take a picture? No, I didn't touch it. His fingers trembled as he pulled the new photo free. The image was still developing, hazy gray fog swirling into shape. Then a wall appeared. A floor. Matt recognized the carpeting instantly, their bedroom. And then the old man came into focus. He wasn't far away this time. He wasn't in the hallway. He wasn't behind the couch. He was in their bedroom, right beside their bed, standing over Lily while she slept. Lily put a hand over her mouth as the color drained from her face. Matt, please tell me this is fake. He shook his head slowly. I was awake. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. What does he want? She whispered. Matt didn't know. But he did know one thing. The camera wasn't just capturing images. It was watching them. Without warning, the camera clicked again. Matt jumped back. Nope, we're not doing this. He grabbed the Polaroid and forced himself to breathe as the new image developed. But this one wasn't inside their bedroom. Not in their house at all. It showed something else. Something worse. A basement. Concrete walls. A single hanging bulb. Long scratch marks on the floor like something had been dragged. And standing in the middle of that cold, empty room was the old man closer, clearer than ever. His smile stretched unnaturally wide, showing too many teeth. Teeth that didn't look human. What basement is that? Lily asked, hugging herself like she suddenly felt freezing cold. Matt swallowed the lump in his throat. I don't know. Maybe it's where he Comey's from? Matt didn't want to think about that. Lily reached for her phone with trembling fingers. I'm calling the police. And saying what? Matt snapped. We bought a camera and now there's a ghost in our pictures. He didn't mean to sound harsh, but fear was clawing at him. They'll think we're insane. She sank onto the bed, shaking her head. We should have never bought it. Matt stared down at the camera, forcing himself to think. I need to know where it came from. What do you mean? That woman at the flea market. She sounded like she knew something. Maybe she can tell us where this thing really came from. Lily swallowed hard. What if she doesn't want to talk? Then we make her. They dressed quickly, ignoring how the house suddenly felt too dark and too quiet. Every window reflected back only blackness, and Matt couldn't shake the feeling that if he stared long enough, the old man's face would appear there too. They drove back to Redwood Street, even though the flea market wasn't open at night. Matt kept expecting to see headlights behind them, a figure standing at the side of the road, something crawling out of the ditch. But the road stayed empty. When they reached the marketplace lot, it was deserted. Vendors' tables were gone. The lot was silent except for a flickering streetlight buzzing overhead. "Where was her stall?" Lily whispered. "Right over there." Matt pointed toward the space near a rusted fire hydrant. But the table was gone. No sign of the woman. Nothing left behind. "She said people returned it," Lily said. "Maybe she moved? Or maybe she didn't want anyone finding her." Matt sighed. "Let's check her booth space. Maybe she left something behind." They walked across the cracked pavement. A cold breeze swept past them, carrying a faint smell of damp earth, muddy, swampy earth. Matt froze. "That smell," he whispered. "It's the same smell from the picture," Lily said. The mud on his shoes. Matt knelt down and touched the ground. His fingertips pressed into fresh, wet mud, even though it hadn't rained in weeks. He wiped his hand on his jeans. "This isn't right," Lily whispered. "We should leave, Matt, please." He opened his mouth to respond, and the camera, inside Lily's bag, snapped another picture. They both froze. "No," Lily whispered. "Not here." Matt's hands shook as he pulled the photo out. The picture developed slower this time, like whatever was inside it wanted to be dramatic. Then it sharpened. The Polaroid showed the flea market lot, but not empty. The woman who sold them the camera stood there, eyes wide open, mouth parted as if she died mid-scream, and behind her, clutching her shoulders with long gray fingers, was the old man. Lily turned in a full circle. "Where is she?" Where Matt grabbed her wrist. "We're leaving." Now. They ran back to the car, but as Matt fumbled with the keys, he felt something cold brush the back of his neck. Not wind, fingers. He spun around. No one was there. But a Polaroid sat on the roof of the car, still warm, as if it had just printed itself. Matt lifted it with numb hands, and in the picture, they were standing beside the car, running, while something tall and shadowy crawled out of the darkness behind them. Not standing, not walking, crawling, like it was finally tired of being seen only in photos. Like it wanted more. The glass cabinet trembled as the face inside began pushing forward, stretching the surface as if the glass were nothing more than soft, melting wax. Josh stumbled backward, nearly slipping on the scattered toys across the floor. His breath turned shallow and sharp, each inhale slicing through his chest like ice. "Grandpa," Josh whispered, though he didn't understand why. Something deep inside him already knew. The thing behind the glass spoke without moving its lips, a voice vibrating like teeth on metal. "Let me out." Josh bolted from the room. He sprinted down the hallway, the floorboards groaning under his feet. Behind him, the glass shattered with a piercing crack that echoed through the entire house. By the time he reached the living room, the lights were flickering violently on, off like a heartbeat losing rhythm. In the darkness of each flicker, Josh saw shadows twitching and bending, stretching long fingers along the walls. Shapes that looked almost human, but too tall, too thin, too wrong. He ran toward the front door, gripping the knob and twisting, locked. He twisted harder. The door wouldn't even rattle. Then he heard it. A slow, dragging step coming from the hallway behind him. And another, and another. Something was walking toward him. Josh. His name floated through the air in that same metallic voice. Not Grandpa's voice, a voice pretending to be him. Josh forced himself to turn around. At the far end of the hallway stood a silhouette grandfather-shaped, hunched slightly, holding the cane Josh remembered from old photos. But the face wasn't right. Eyes too dark, too deep. A smile too wide, too patient. skin that seemed to flicker between old, young, and something rotten. "You left me alone," the thing said, tapping the cane on the floor. Tap, tap, tap. "Come help me back to my room." Josh shook his head rapidly, stepping backward. "You're not him." The thing laughed a laugh that sounded like someone scraping nails across aluminum. Its body twitched violently, jerking as if strings were pulling it from every direction. The cane snapped in half as its spine straightened too quickly, like a puppet being yanked upright. "Let me show you what he left behind." The air grew cold, so cold Josh could see his own breath. The walls around him began to ripple, paint sliding downward like wet clay. The hallway changed, photos turned into black smears, wallpaper peeled into long curls, the lights buzzed out completely. Then a door appeared at the end of the hall. A door that had never been there before. A door marked 42B. Josh's chest constricted, his vision pulsed. Something inside him whispered that whatever was behind that door didn't belong in this world. Didn't belong in any world. The creature walked toward the door and opened it halfway. Inside, Josh saw a room full of beds. Dark figures lying on each one, still, silent, covered with thin sheets, and each sheet had a name tag. His family's names, his neighbors, people he knew, people alive. The creature motioned him closer. "They're not dead," it whispered. "They just don't know they're mine yet." Suddenly the sheets began to rise, each figure beneath them arching upward, as if waking. Dozens of bodies sat up simultaneously, heads turning in unison toward the hallway, toward him. Josh screamed and stumbled backward. The door slammed shut. The creature dropped its smile. "You don't get to leave, Josh." With a shriek that shattered every bulb in the house, it lunged. Josh darted sideways, sliding behind the dining table. He grabbed the nearest object, a heavy silver candle holder, and swung it as hard as he could. The metal connected, sending a shock through his arm. The creature staggered but didn't fall. Instead, its neck twisted a full 180 degrees, eyes locking onto him, smile widening until the skin around its mouth ripped. Then a voice echoed from upstairs. "Josh, don't run." Not the creature's voice, not a fake voice. His real grandfather's voice, weak, strained, desperate. Josh froze. The creature froze. The voice called again. "Josh, please." The creature let out a low, furious hiss. "Don't answer him," it whispered. But Josh was already running up the stairs. Josh took the stairs 2 at a time, the wooden steps groaning under each frantic footfall. Behind him, the creature was scrambling up the wall instead of the stairs, its limbs bending backward like broken branches, claws digging into the wallpaper with a wet, tearing sound. "Josh!" it hissed, voice echoing as if coming from inside the walls themselves. But over that sickening sound, he still heard it, his grandfather's real voice. "Up here, Josh, hurry." The voice was weak, trembling, as if barely able to reach him. Josh followed the sound to the end of the hallway and froze. A door was there. A door that never existed in the house before. A door identical to the ones in his memories of Grandpa's old room, peeling white paint, brass knob, faint smell of old cedar. His hand trembled as he reached for it. Behind him, the creature whispered, "If you open that door, you'll never leave." Josh didn't stop. He twisted the knob. The door opened. The attic that wasn't an attic. Inside was a dimly lit room, no windows, no vents, no lights. Yet it glowed faintly with the sickly, bluish haze. Dust swirled in slow motion as if gravity obeyed a different law here. And in the far corner sat an old rocking chair. And in that chair, his real grandfather, thin, pale, skin sunken in, hands shaking around the wooden arms of the chair, but his eyes were the same soft, warm eyes Josh remembered from childhood pictures. "Josh," he whispered, almost crying, "you shouldn't be here." Josh stumbled toward him. "What's happening?" "That thing. It looks like you." it said. His grandfather shook his head. That isn't me. It never was. A sharp crack echoed behind Josh. The creature entered the room. Except here, in this place, it looked different. Worse. Much worse. Its skin melted into black, stringy tar. Its limbs lengthened unnaturally, ribs pressing through its chest like jagged branches. Its mouth split upward to its temples, revealing dozens of needle-like teeth. Josh's grandfather pointed weakly at the floor around the chair. A circle of symbols hand carved into the wood, glowing faint red under the haze. A seal, Grandpa whispered. It keeps it from taking me completely. It mimics the living, feeds on the young, but it wants a permanent host. The creature's voice gurgled like something drowning. He will be mine, old man. The room vibrated. Grandpa's chair rattled violently. Josh stepped between them. No, I'm not letting you take him. The creature smiled, stretching its mouth to impossible lengths. You already opened the door. You already let me in. The truth of room 42B, Josh turned to his grandfather. What is this place? Why does it look like your old room? Grandpa's eyes filled with tears. This is where it kept me when I died. Josh's heart dropped. You died? Not the way you think, Grandpa whispered. My body died in the hospital. But this thing didn't let me go. It kept a memory of me, a shadow, a piece of my soul. And now it wants you too. The creature slammed its hand into the seal, sizzling smoke rising. The lines cracked. The room shook harder. Josh, Grandpa whispered. There was only one way to break its hold. The rocking chair began to glow, just like the seal. Symbols crawled up the legs, wrapping around Grandpa's arms like chains of light. You must finish the seal. There's a missing mark without it. It consumes everything. Josh scanned the pattern. One symbol wasn't carved, just faintly outlined. He dropped to his knees and used his fingernail to scratch the last line. The creature shrieked so loud the walls split open, revealing a black void beyond them. Stop, it roared, lunging forward, but the seal blazed with blinding white light. Grandpa screamed not in fear, but release. His chest lifted, his body dissolving into soft golden particles. Thank you, Josh. His voice faded like a whisper carried by wind. You freed me? Josh cried out, reaching for him, but his hand passed through the golden haze as it drifted upward, disappearing. The void sucked inward, and the creature was pulled into it, screaming in fury as it was dragged into nothingness. The door slammed behind Josh. The aftermath. He woke up on the living room floor. Everything looked normal. No cracks, no haze, no creature. The house was silent. But the rocking chair, Grandpa's rocking chair, was sitting in the corner, rocking gently as if someone had just stood up from it. Josh backed away slowly, then ran outside, not once looking back. Epilogue. That night, as he tried to sleep, Josh heard a voice in his room, soft, gentle, the voice of his real grandfather. Thank you, child. But the house remembers. The rocking chair downstairs creaked once, then fell silent.